Welcome to Skill-Based Art, a learning resource for art students and artist teachers. My name is Emilio Longo, and I am the founder and director of Skill-Based Art. This product review is on Rosemary & Co. Handmade artist brushes. Rosemary & Co. are a family-run business that have been manufacturing the finest quality handmade artist brushes, first in Stoke-on-Trent in Staffordshire and then in Yorkshire, England, for over 40 years. They are the largest brush manufacturer in the United Kingdom, who are renowned for their handcrafted, fine quality artist brushes that are made with precision and care. The business was created by Rosemary Thompson, who first started making brushes when she was in her teenage years. During her career in nursing, she formed the brush making company in 1985 with her then husband that was called Associated Brush Specialists, or ABS Brushes, which were a reputable brush manufacturer located in Stoke-on-Trent. The years spent there enabled her to learn the trade of brush making. Rosemary ran ABS Brushes until she separated from her husband, and they closed the business in late 2000. Shortly after this period, Rosemary decided to continue ABS Brushes' legacy by founding Rosemary & Co. in early 2002. Since founding the business, Rosemary and her team of staff have been supplying artists from around the world with their brushes by mail order. Equally as passionate as the artist she serves, Rosemary considers art to be her way of life, and she's had a love affair with it for as long as she can remember. She considers Rosemary & Co. to be not only her business, but her life's work. Rosemary was brought up in Market Drayton, Shropshire, Damson Town. However, she has lived in Yorkshire for the past 23 years. She used to be an oil painter herself and got her start making brushes when she was 18 years old through making fishing flies as a hobby for her brother, who was a fly fisherman. Discouraged by the poor quality of brushes she was using back then to paint with, her brother encouraged her to make paintbrushes, as he could see that she already had the technical aptitude to do so through creating his flies for fly fishing. This planted the idea in her mind. During this time, an elderly lady living in the same village, who was a talented oil painter, happened to pass away. Her painting equipment was being sold by the family in a garage sale, and Rosemary managed to purchase all the painting supplies before somebody else got them. She took the equipment home, which included some very finely crafted brushes, and she proceeded to remove the aluminium ferrules in effort to see how the brushes were constructed. After studying the construction of the brushes, it dawned on her that since she can make flies for fishing, she would be able to make paintbrushes. In fact, some of the first brushes she made were from the ear hairs of her grandparents' cows. Through dedication to her craft and persistence, artists in her local community became supportive. After getting married, moving to Stoke-on-Trent in 1979 saw her provide brushes initially to the ceramics industry, who were eager to buy English brushes instead of buying imported ones from France or Germany, which they were then doing. They saw the quality of Rosemary's brushes and chose to support her. Following some demand from fine art painters, she began making brushes specifically for watercolor, due to the British Isles and the influence of the watercolor medium. Rosemary started off at a grassroots level, making brushes and packaging orders on her kitchen table at home, with her children often helping her after school. She started to post her brushes around the United Kingdom using shoe boxes, cornflakes boxes, or orange juice cartons as secure packaging for delivery. As time progressed, her name became well known amongst artist societies throughout England. Eager to spread her market further than the United Kingdom, Rosemary and her team decided to break into the US market after some artists from the States were exposed to her brushes while teaching workshops in the USA. Eventually, they invited her to the US for an event called Weekend with the Masters. To Rosemary's surprise, the majority of her brushes sold before the convention had actually started. The legendary Richard Smith was one of the artists demonstrating at the event. Once he met Rosemary and used her brushes for his painting demonstration, he was certain that he would never use another brush again. In fact, he would come to use Rosemary's brushes exclusively after this event. Within 20 minutes of Mr. Schmid finishing his demonstration, Rosemary had sold every brush on her stall. She would continue to scale the business over the coming years, eventually going from 15 orders a day to 300 plus orders per day. Today, Rosemary & Co. ship their brushes all over the world. In the early days of Rosemary & Co., Rosemary would invite artists to her hometown of Yorkshire to give painting demonstrations using her brushes. However, these eventually ceased due to COVID and ongoing building works taking place at Rosemary & Co. headquarters. In recent exciting news, Rosemary & Co. have revived their workshop offerings by introducing their new Master Workshops, which will commence in June of 2026. Participants will have the opportunity to study with some of the world's most renowned realist painters while being surrounded by the beautiful Yorkshire landscape. These workshops will be offered as packages that include accommodation and meals. Rosemary and her team encourage you to get in touch with them if you're interested. Through decades of experience, the trade of artist brush making has allowed Rosemary to travel the world to source materials and learn different processes of handmaking brushes. Through these travels, she formulated her own methods of brush making, which she subsequently trained her staff how to do. All brushes are made by hand on site at the Rosemary & Co. headquarters in Yorkshire, using the very best materials such as wooden handles from sustainable forests in Europe, the best quality ferrules that come from Switzerland, and of course, the finest quality natural hairs and fibers globally. This is unlike most other companies who outsource and mass produce their brushes in bulk quantities using machines. Today, Rosemary & Co. offer over 3,000 diverse styles of brushes in their collection, which are made for use with different mediums, including watercolor, gouache, acrylic, and oil paint. In fact, they offer over 20 different series of brushes in their oil range alone. Prior to August of 2024, Rosemary & Co. operated out of Rosemary's home and outbuildings in Yorkshire. However, in August 2024, one of Rosemary's dreams came true when she was able to establish Rosemary & Co.'s headquarters in the idyllic landscape of the Yorkshire Dales National Park. Having an affinity for Georgian architecture for all her life, Rosemary fell in love with a property she saw in Yorkshire and had a vision for it to become the headquarters for Rosemary & Co., as well as her new home. She ended up building a custom workshop and offices on the same site as her home, enabling the team to move in. The new location is surrounded by the landscape of the Yorkshire Dales. The building is equipped with a purpose-built workshop designed to suit the brush making and mail order facility and busy offices. Although the building itself features a Georgian-styled exterior, the inside contains all the equipment one would expect in a contemporary working environment. Within the building is also featured a brand new showroom and gallery space where one can view the full range of brushes and see a selection of finely crafted paintings that have been painted with them. The showroom and gallery are set to be opened in the late spring of 2026. Also featured in Rosemary & Co.'s new headquarters is a holiday cottage which can be booked for several days, where groups can stay while creating on-plan air paintings of the surrounding Yorkshire countryside. If you are interested in staying in this cottage, or if you are looking to visit Rosemary & Co.'s headquarters in Yorkshire, they ask that you contact them to make an appointment, so a staff member will be able to assist and welcome you during your visit. What makes Rosemary's approach to brush making unique is she deals with artists and art schools directly, getting their feedback to ensure her line of brushes meet their specific needs, ensuring that they can find the exact brushes to suit their style of painting. This passion and attention to detail is precisely what makes Rosemary & Co. loved by artists worldwide. To date, Rosemary has collaborated with a multitude of artists and schools to create their very own high-quality brush sets. She often spends time with the artists and watches them paint to see what they struggle with, and then offers a solution through her brushes. Rosemary & Co. take pride in their old-fashioned approach to conducting business by prioritizing human-centered customer service. Although Rosemary is today the managing director of the company, she claims that the best part of her day is sitting at her workbench making brushes. To this end, Rosemary herself often responds personally to the many emails which the team gets daily from artists asking for advice on the most suitable style of brushes for their needs. This human touch is appreciated as it counteracts the automated generic response emails which many of the larger art material companies use. And Rosemary doesn't hesitate to work on the workshop floor and in the packaging areas when things get particularly busy. This remarkable service has caused Rosemary & Co. to garner the trust of customers from around the world who continue to use and endorse her brushes globally. Artists in the US, Australia, Canada, Japan, Europe, and New Zealand praise the brushes and often recommend them to students and fellow painters. For the purpose of this review, Rosemary & Co. have kindly donated the Schmid brush set, which is an assortment of brushes that Richard Schmid himself selected. For those who are unaware, Richard Schmid was one of the best American painters of our age who acted as a teacher and mentor to many affluent painters who are working today. Holding a doctorate of fine art and having 50 solo exhibitions throughout his life, as well as receiving the John Singer Sargent Medal for Lifetime Achievement, Mr. Schmid generously shared much of what he knew about painting through his teaching and through the art instruction books he wrote, which include the ever-popular Alla Prima, Everything I Know About Painting, which is considered by many artists to be one of the best books to ever be published on representational painting. Mr. Schmid was a leading exponent of the grand manner in art, and his painting style was characterized by his poetic brushmanship, which made him a living master of the impressionistic, realist manner of painting. Mr. Schmid passed in 2021. Although we never had the chance to work with him, creating this review of the brush set with Rosemary & Co. is our way of keeping his legacy alive. Quoting from Mr. Schmid, he stated, "Rosemary's brushes are my choice as the perfect instruments for painting. No other brushes in the world quite compare to them for performance, superb quality, and variety." The Schmid brush set includes 17 brushes, the majority of which are on long handles. There are 7 different ranges of brushes from the Rosemary & Co. collection that are included in the set, which consist of The red dot pointed rounds on short handles in sizes 0, 1 and 3. Released in 2021, the red dot range are 100% synthetic fiber, vegan-friendly brushes which have been made to replicate the natural feel of sable. The pointed round ends are highly versatile and are particularly useful for drawing and signing finished paintings. Next are the red dot short flats in sizes 6, 10, 14 and 16. The red dot short flats are made with the exact same synthetic hair as the pointed rounds. However, their flat ends makes them a perfect choice for short, sharp edge work. They are particularly useful for blocking in and for painting architecture and landscape subjects. Next is a red dot short filbert in size 6. Again, this short filbert is made with the same hair as the previous brushes. It's also called a cat's tongue due to the hairs which taper to a triangular point. This brush is capable of painting fine details such as foliage for botanical subjects, as well as producing broader strokes when the side of the brush is used. For this reason, it's a suitable choice for landscape as well as portrait painters. Next is the Series 279 Master's Choice Long Flat in size 8. The Series 279 Master's Choice are one of Rosemary & Co.'s most popular natural hair brushes for oil painting. They were developed with the help of American painters including Jeremy Lipking, Tony Pro and Morgan Weisling. These painters were essentially looking for a brush that had the capacity to hold lots of paint while being soft enough to blend with and knock back edges of paint without the hairs falling out and ending up all over their paintings. What resulted was a series of brushes with unique markings in their hair fibers that are responsive and have a semi-stiff firmness of stroke. The hairs are a mix of male and female badger, which makes them fluffy as well as resilient, and with extensive use, they tend to wear down quite well. These brushes are well suited for adding highlights and subtle areas of tone into a painting. Next are the Series 278 Master's Choice Long Filberts in sizes 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. The Series 278 Master's Choice Long Filberts are made with the exact same badger hair as the two Series 9 brushes. However, they tend to be longer and include a brush tip that is somewhat tapered and oval shaped rather than completely square and flat. For this reason, they are well suited for creating soft, round edges on natural subjects such as portraits. Next are the Series 274 Master's Choice Flats in sizes 4 and 6. These brushes are made with the same hair as the Series 278 and 279 brushes. However, they are a much sturdier brush with a stronger snap that enhance control, especially when desiring to create sharp edges with your brushwork. They are best suited for blocking in, blending, impasto, and alla prima painting. As such, they are favoured by portrait and landscape painters alike. Finally is the Classic Short Flat in size 12. The Classics have been specifically designed for the traditional oil painter who likes the steady handling, snap, and feel of a bristle brush without the common problem of the bristles splaying. Featuring a long handle and made from 90% bristle and 10% synthetic hair, this bristle synthetic mix has interlocked hairs, which allows for the brush to hold its original shape for a lot longer, making it more durable than a traditional bristle brush. The addition of the synthetic hairs also allows for more spring, and this is advantageous when cleaning the brush as it will allow the hairs to retain their original shape if cleaned properly, and if excessive use of mineral spirits are avoided in the painting process. For plein air or studio painters who prefer organic brush marks that don't appear so clean and tight, the Classic Short Flats will serve you well. They are ideal for blocking in and impasto applications. However, due to the bristle hairs, scrubbing paint vigorously with a brush is not recommended to prevent damage to the bristles. Now, when it comes to price, Rosemary & Co. are competitive and tend to be 50 to 60% cheaper than some of the larger commercial brush manufacturers out there. And when comparing their brushes side by side, the quality, performance, and durability of their brushes are equally as good. As Rosemary and the team make the brushes themselves and sell them directly to artists through their website, they are able to cut out the middleman and don't have expensive overheads like some of the other brush manufacturers. Due to their popularity, some companies have tried to copy the Rosemary & Co. range. However, Rosemary was the first to create them. If you wish to learn more about Rosemary & Co.'s brush range, they offer a free mail order catalogue which features their whole line of brushes. As there is no universal sizing for brushes, Rosemary has photographed all brushes in the catalogue to actual size so artists can get a true sense of how big they really are. You're welcome to contact Rosemary & Co. today to request your free copy of their catalogue. As for delivery, Rosemary & Co. ship their products worldwide using reliable, trackable delivery services which include FedEx, Royal Mail, and DPD. Both standard and priority shipping options are available, and shipping costs are calculated upon checkout for convenience. Rosemary & Co.'s website also has a live online chat feature which customers can use to receive real-time responses to their questions. Rosemary and the team encourage customers who can't find the type of brushes that they are looking for on their website to contact them for help and advice. If you have not yet tried Rosemary & Co.'s handmade artist brushes, go ahead and do so. Once you try them, you simply won't go back. They are the best brushes in the world that are made by a company who are full of integrity. Skill-Based Art, a learning resource for art students and artist teachers, is very proud to be part of Rosemary & Co.'s affiliate program. Being an affiliate means that each time you use our affiliate code on their website when making a purchase, we receive a small commission which is reinvested back into Skill-Based Art to help facilitate its expansion into the future. If you would like to support our work by using our affiliate code, simply type Skill-Based Art into the Apply Affiliate Code box at the checkout on Rosemary & Co.'s website, which is www.rosemaryandco.com. My name is Emilio Longo, founder and director of Skill-Based Art, and this has been a product review. My best to you with your training.